Hello. Oh, hey. Hello. So I'm super pumped. I did a little bit of coding on the side. And what I've done is like this is just mocked data. But what I've done is that I've added mentions. So that's these at things. Maybe actually we don't need that at sign in front of it because what we have is like tags, which has these like labels. But then I think actually, yeah, maybe we can keep it for now. So this would be like a person is yellow, red is a project, and green is an issue. And now it's 42. It should really be kind of the title of the. Yeah, you know what? Let's actually fix this first. So our yeah, let's see here. Boop. So our oh fuck. Let's see flow. It's still not working every time. It's really annoying. I hope they fix this soon. So the mentions we have now is currently showing like at sign in front of them. We should not do that. What we should rather do is just not have it, basically, so that persons are displayed in normal text, only that it has a yellow color, projects are shown in red, and then issues are shown in green. Another thing is that in the mock data, we're showing issues with like the issue number. We should really show it with the title of the issue instead. So could you please fix that for me? Yeah, so what we're going to do now is that we're actually going to add conversations, because if you see now, boop, we have the animation in here, and we have message at the bottom here. I'm really happy with this transition, because you'll always have like your week view. One thing is like, why show the days you've already done? But this is your mental model. Like, you have a work week, and this is how your mental model is. And it's just as important to be able to look back and reflect on what you actually did, and also be able to like act on what you're doing today and see what's like coming in the future, like what you're postponing. So yeah, this is great. And what we're doing now is, let's see, did it finish? Nice, thank you. And then, yeah, SDK book session. Nice. So what we're basically going to do now is we're going to add this message thing, so that any to-do you have can have a conversation. And when you type in here, hi, you should be able to use the mention, and you can mention any project, issue, and person. What I think we should do first, though, is actually hook up these to-dos to the actual backend. Because one thing we have to do first here now is we need to clear site data. We need to sign in again, because I changed so that when you sign in, we don't use a profiles. What? This is weird. Shouldn't it use the test? Who? I'm confused. This is supposed to show. What's going on here? That was supposed to show the test organization. Why has that changed? It's supposed to show like I should be able to sign in with. Okay, let me just try something. Christian@example.com. What the fuck is going on here? It's not using the test stuff. But I haven't changed anything. Oh, come on. I wanted to. I'm a little bit stressed because we're going to this Christmas thing and I really wanted to work on this. What's going on here? Why doesn't it display the... Because if I do this on my other computer, it's showing the... This is really weird. Let me test it. Pimp and dev. When I sign in here, it's showing the test identity provider. What's going on? Clear site data. What the fuck? Oh, maybe I have to sign into WorkOS to use the test provider. That's probably it. Yeah, here we go. Okay, I was confused by that. So Christian, Alfone, engineering. Cool. And what we're going to do, like, we don't actually need to search or anything like that. We're actually going to download all the projects, issues, people, everything is going to be downloaded into the client. And that's going to create like a super snappy experience. And then it's just being kept in sync with snapshots. And then if you disconnect from the app, it's going to do that sync in the background when you reconnect. And that's like not the most efficient way of doing it, but this is what single page applications do. They download a shit ton of data in the client to create that super snappy experience. Okay, so what we're going to do now first is that we are going to actually hook this up to real to-dos. So we're going to remove all these mocked to-dos. Cool. And then let's see. Yeah, I guess we're going to clean up this calendar because it currently has some AI generated stuff. And I don't think we actually use DayCell anymore. Go to references. No, we're not using it. So, but what we can do is that we can actually move this. Let's see how we're going to do this. Maybe we can still keep DayCell because we have weekdays. Yeah, this is a DayCell. Just 2 seconds. So this is just okay. So this is more like the container for that DayCell. Sorry. Oh, we also have column width. Oh, yeah. So we have 2 sections here, right? No. Yeah. Oh, 2 seconds. Jeg klarer ikke den lyden, jeg. Kan du kanskje dempe det? Kan du dempe lyden litt? Jeg blir koko av den der. Vær så snill. My daughter is playing this game in the other room, and every time like the other person gets near, it's this like Jaws kind of really annoying thing. Let's see. Should we have a DayCell? Should we? stay header to-dos list. I'm not sure if we actually need that. No, let's keep this as is. Yeah, and then we have to-do item, but we're going to give a component to the, okay, so let's delete the day cell. And then we're going to create a new one for the conversation. But for now, we don't really need anything. We just need our to-dos. So the question now becomes, how are we going to expose all this data? As I said, we are going to sync down all your to-dos. It's actually a relatively complex query because we're going to query all your incompleted plus all completed plus the to-dos this week and forward, which might not sound that complex, but for Firebase, that's a little bit complex, but I know that's doable. So I think maybe we should just have a data context, which are all the issues, all the projects, all the to-dos, like your to-dos. Or we could treat them as different contexts. No, because it's a lot of cross-reference. Like we need all that data to be able to like populate things. Yeah. Let's do that. So for example, to-do can reference an issue and a project. So yeah, we need all of them to be in the client to do cross-reference. Yeah, okay. Data context. Export function, export const data context equals create, create context. And what we need to do here is, well, basically hook up everything. So we're going to have Firebase, which is like Firebase context. And then we need, let's see, set up your to-dos basically. So we're going to use, so this is a subscription for your to-dos, but what we can do is we can have the state for all of them. And what we can also do is we can actually expose them as like with use suspend, so that either we have all the data or we have no data. So that would be to-dos as to-do. Yeah, and then there are other things like user settings, organization, but those are things tied to the authentication, I think. So for now, let's just do to-dos. So let's just return state. Wait, what happened here? What did I do? Oh, const. Sorry. Export const data context. And then what we're going to do is at the app level. So this would be after you're authenticated. So we have Firebase, we have authentication, and then we have, what happens? Do we go to top bar and calendar? Yeah, so this is interesting. So we need to inject the data. So the thing is, we can actually, yeah, so what we have to decide here is, do we want to expose the data as empty? And then whenever the authentication changes, we're going to kind of set up the subscription for the data. And also then like cancel the subscription and clear out the data. Or are we going to put that data into an authenticated context. Like we create a new component when you're authenticated that is the actual like authenticated app. And then we inject the data there. So that is definitely safer, so that you can't leak data across things. So then you get like automatic, what's it called? Cleanup. So I think we're going to do that. So we need a new component that basically is the authenticated app. The interesting thing is that we really want the calendar to be like the topper and the calendar to always be there. So I'm not sure if we're going to tackle that immediately. So we would have like skeleton. Yeah, how would we do this? And the thing we also have to avoid is that the UI is remounted, because if you have a skeleton showing like this pulsating loading thing, and then you replace that component with an actual component that shows the exact same UI, but it kind of now has all the data fetching and everything, you want that pulsating thing to not jank, right? So we have to make sure that doesn't happen. So it really and that means that really needs to be the same app. So what would be simpler is like we would actually, yeah, I think we're gonna have the data at the top. It's gonna simplify things, because then we just render out the app. There's just no content there, right? And then we use the authenticated state to show the pulsating, like what's it called, the placeholder stuff, any loaders and all of that. And then as you sign in, there's still gonna be, yeah, how are we gonna do that? Oh, this is interesting. So we still want to have a loading state after you've authenticated for the data, so that we keep showing any like placeholders for data until the data is loaded initially. And that just happens to be the first snapshot that arrives. So it's a little bit tricky. So what are we gonna do here? We need to wield our own state. Okay, we're just gonna wield this manually. There aren't really any good primitives for like, okay, we have some empty state and then we set up a subscription for that state, but we have these different data sources, and only when all of them has sent their first snapshot, then we're not in the loading state. So we're gonna manually manage this. Okay, cool. So let's do data, and then data context dot use. Yeah, we might not, don't even need it there actually. Oh, fuck, I wanted to work on the conversation stuff. So none of this actually requires data yet. So we're going to change this. We are going to return. We're going to return this. And then we're going to have a sign in dialog. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Let's see here. So now it just shows this. But what we're going to have is, oh, didn't we remove the mock data? Didn't I save it? Oh, I didn't save it. Oh, because now we don't have anything here. Let's just do this for now. Yeah. So what we are gonna do is we're gonna move this. Let's see. What are we gonna do? Let's first implement the data fetching. Then we're gonna fix the placeholders and authentication state. And then because if we look at this one, if I refresh here now, you see this? We have this placeholder stuff that we're gonna copy over. Okay. Okay, I think I have a plan. Data context. Const dispose to do subscription or dispose I'm not in a good mental state for this. I was looking forward to this all day, and now I'm just super stressed about us leaving soon. God damn it. On to-dos, snapshot. On snapshot. Yeah, and then we need a reference to these to-dos. Yeah, that's to-dos collection equals collection. So this is going to be, oh, we need organization ID. Oh, for fuck's sake. Why do you need, oh yeah, Firebase. So this is going to be, yeah, organizations. And then we need a user authentication. Oh, and then this to-dos, oh, fuck. So this to-dos collection is going to change. Yeah, so this needs to be an effect. Oh my God. Why are you complaining? Oh, sorry, firebase.app. Oh, does it need a, oh, it needs the Firestore, sorry. Const db equals get Firestore app. Yeah, let's call it Firestore. Cool. I like how I don't need to like fix any typing or authentication context. We're just going to use that. Firebase, Firestore. And then we need to have authentication. So the thing is, if no authentication user, we're just going to return. But if we have authentication user, the thing is we don't really have, we're just returning the actual user now, but we really want to have the org ID. So what I wonder here is, what are we going to do about this? So we also want other things like your, yeah, the point is that this is on claims. Okay, let's see how we actually access that. How do I access claims I've set on a Firebase user in the client? Yeah, I have a feeling we're not going to get to conversations. Ah, that sucks. I'm just so pumped for this because this is the part that's really going to explain everything. What's this? Get ID token result. Oh my God. That's interesting. That's a lot of stuff to get the claim. Yeah, I think we want to store this on the actual user. So yeah, sorry, because now we're, yeah, I actually think we do. Let's see. Where did my music go? Users, email. Yeah, so the interesting thing is that there isn't really like it. Oh, we do have org ID there. Does that make sense? And it doesn't make sense to have UID there. We already have the UID. Yeah. Okay, we're going to change that function first. So it doesn't include the org ID or the UID. And then when we resolve the user, we're going to go in and grab the claim for the org ID. And then we're going to basically create a type for this. Yeah, that we're actually going to expose. So when you sign in, you're going to have the same type as when you go and grab any other user. But we're going to create that type or that value from the authenticated user. Or are we just going to go and grab you here? Thinking. No, because that doesn't need, okay, sorry. Yeah, we're not going to get to what I wanted to get to, that's for sure. So you just have to deal with my partial frustration here. Let's see. So we're not going to pass in the org ID. We're not going to pass in the UID here. That doesn't make any sense. Else, what do? We update with the user data. Okay, fine. Yeah, user data, cool. That's okay. We don't really have to like redeploy that because we're just removing some stuff. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna create a specific type for authenticated user. So let's see, we have profile. This is actually going to be user, and that's going to have an ID. It's going to email, display name, photo URL, created at, updated at. Okay, and then we also need, we kind of need exactly the same for the authenticated user. So I'm just curious if we're going to go and grab yeah, I think we're just going to create a user from this type, but it's going to be based on the authenticated data. I think that makes most sense. Okay, so then we're going to grab the code we got from, yeah, but that user doesn't have an org ID. But the authenticated user does have an org ID. Okay, we're going to create a export interface. But we kind of want all of this. But yeah, but the authenticated user doesn't have updated at. Yeah, no, we're going to go and grab you from the users collection. Okay. So when you are authenticated, we're not going to do this immediately. We're going to go and do some stuff. We are going to say, so if no user, we're going to do this. That's easy peasy. Let's return from that. And then we're going to go and do some things. Now, and the thing I get stuck in now is like, if I make this async, which I'm doing now, we have a problem because this might trigger again. While we are fetching the user and prepping all this data. It shouldn't happen, but it could happen. Yeah, but yeah. Those kinds of things annoy me. But anyways, let's just deal with that for now. So first we need to go and find this organization ID. That's an important reference for us. So how did we grab that? And what did we set the claim to? Was it organization ID? Organization ID. Yeah. Cool. So that would be user. Do we have like an error state on authentication? No. Hej. Ferdig. Ser ikke sånn ut. Har du bada? Å ja, så bra. Men du, la meg streame ferdig da. Nei, det har hun ikke. Lukker du døra, skal jeg? Takk. Let's see. Organization. Where were we? Oh, here we are. Yeah, we don't have an error state for sign in or authentication. Why don't we have that? Oh, because of it's the sign in itself that errors, right? So it, yeah. So we have an error on signing, actually performing the sign in, but we don't have an error on like just authenticating you, because you need to re-authenticate anyways. So yeah, that makes sense, I think. So we're gonna do like on the catch here, we're just gonna do this. And then we're gonna say during sign in, the error will occur. Well, the issue is like, what if there's something wrong? No. Authentication error and sign-in error are different things. So we need to have an error here as well. And what can you do if you have an authentication error? Well, it's to try to sign in again. But it's weird if you just open, and that's fine if you just open the app and for some reason you're signed out because some error happened. But then you try to sign in and everything is good with the sign in, but then something happens during the authentication of that sign in. And then you're just thrown back to sign in without an error. So we really do need to have an error. So error is null. Error is null. And then error is null. But we can also have error is error, null. That can also happen. And if no user, the error is null. And here we will have an error. I really don't like this either. Let's do a string here. Then we'll do a string on the error. Cool. And then we're going to go and do all the other cool stuff, which is to users collection. So hopefully the sign in actually adds that. Du, Oskar, nå må du la Jeg får bare den lille tida her for meg selv i dag til å gjøre det jeg har lyst til. Så nå må jeg få det. OK? Ellers så blir pappa så grinete. Jeg hadde hatt så lyst til å gjøre det her i hele dag. Så nå må pappa få gjøre det før vi skal dra. OK? Da ses vi snart. I actually kind of like that I have this, like, you could even call it immature. Not immature, but I really love doing this stuff. And I feel like a kid. It's like how a kid loves doing stuff, right? It's like nothing else matters. This is the only thing that's like important. But like with maturity, you're kind of more conscious about it. But what I like is that I have the same feeling that our kids have when they feel that something is important that really isn't important in kind of like reality. So I completely understand what they mean or how they feel. And it's nice to be able to kind of talk about it. Because they're not just kids, they just have this, like, this is so important to me. I just have to do this thing. And some people, I think of that as immaturity. But I think it's just a lack of passion growing up. I love having that, though it can be very frustrating. Anyways, Firebase, Firestore. We're going to go to organization. Oh, yeah, sorry. First we were going to do this first. Let's change this into organization ID. Well, first ID token result. And then, let's see. Let's remove this. Oops. ID token result. And then if claims organization ID. Well, basically, we're going to do if no throw new error, no organization ID claim found on user. Or we're going to say organization ID equals ID token result claims organization ID. Is that directly on the thing? Yeah, looks like it. Cool. So now we have the organization ID, which means that we can actually produce this user type. And then we're going to rename this to Firebase user. And the user is going to be an actual user. So that would be, wait. As Firebase user. Am I using, yeah, Firebase user. Am I using it anywhere else? Yeah, this is going to be actual user. Yeah. Cool. Let's see. Yeah, sorry. So we're gonna go and actually grab that user now. So the thing I think we're gonna do is, how the hell are we gonna do this? Yes. So we are gonna, yeah, users collection, Firebase, Firestore, organizations, organization ID. And then we're going to use the Firebase user UID. Users. So this is the, oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, so I guess we want to doc. Oh, how does this work? Collection. Wait, what's happening here? Type Firestore. Wait, what effect does this take? Firestore path. String path segments. What the fuck? Oh, is it because of this? Oh, probably. So if type of ID not equal to string, there we go. Okay, cool. So now we have the collection, users collection, and then we need a user doc, which is doc users collection Firebase user UID. So that's the doc. And how do we get it? Is that a promise? No. How does this work? I can't remember this stuff. Is it like get doc? Yeah, exactly. Does this take, do I need the actual user doc? Reference. Yeah, I think I can just do, no, I have to do user doc, right? Yeah. User doc ref. And then this is user doc, await. Cool. Oh, that was a lot of stuff. If not user doc dot exists, is that a function I need to call? Throw new error, cannot find user document in Firestore. And then we are going to have the actual data. So then user would be user doc data as user. Can't I just cast it? Oh, what are you complaining? Oh, yeah, we don't have the error. Okay, so I can maybe do as user. Yeah, error is null. Cool. That's basically it. So when we load up now, we should have an actual user. Error null. Yeah, so this is actually also going to be error null because we're throwing the error. It's an error on the sign-in, not on the authentication itself. Cool. And then we need to check if we actually get this thing. Let's see. Do we have, yeah, let's wait with this stuff. Let's see what happens when we load up the page now. Console. So we have authentication. Maybe we can just log authentication. Oh, it's null. Oh, permission denied. Exactly. That's good. Cool. So I like to use. So we have a new collection called users. So it's in organizations / organization ID / users. And this should give have read access to any user that's authenticated for organizations, also has read access to the users collection. Could you please fix that in the Firestore rules? Yeah, let's prep deploying it. pm deploy rules. Oh, I have to go in a few minutes. Yeah, we did not get very far. But yeah, this is important stuff. Oh, I'm so pumped to just add the first to do, write the first messages, like sign in on my computer, have an actual conversation, tag things. It's gonna be, or mention things, I mean, it's gonna be epic. Okay, let's deploy the rules. Let's see now. Look at that. We have the user org ID. Oh yeah, now we, so the org ID shouldn't be there. Yeah, so this is interesting. So let's remove that because that's not actually going to be there. This is not going to be there, and this is not going to be there. Cool. So what we need now is, yeah, we said it was just going to be a user, but what were we going to do about the org ID? So the thing I don't like about this authentication context is that we kind of have, we have user, but the user is, well, we could just say and organization ID. Because we need that organization ID to point to any collection and stuff. Should we do that? We could also put it here, but that it feels weird. Yeah, let's do that. Organization ID. Organization ID. Boom. Yeah, I think this is fine. This is also nice for typing because so we still have the organization ID, but we don't have the UID anymore. Okay, this is what we want. Cool. Nice. I'm happy. So what we can do now, you can go into the data context and we can actually do this. So if no authenticated user, but now we can do .id. Oh, sorry, this is wrong. The collection here is organization ID and then to-dos. And we're going to use rules here to figure out like what to-dos we can actually read. Because you can only read the ones that has an owner ID the same as your authenticated user ID. So we're going to go in here and we can actually just return this now. To-dos collection, snapshot, and we're just going to set state to-dos equals snapshot docs. Oh, we have to do a for each here. Can I just, oh yeah, that's true. Okay. Yeah, I think we have to data. Oh yeah. What do they call it? What's each item? Yeah. Doc.data as to do. Yeah, and we can't map over it. It's kind of annoying that they have this like for each thing. So this would be yeah, so what we can do here is like we can listen to doc changes or look at the doc changes and then kind of add them. Or if it's remove, we can remove it. Like we can make this super optimal. But I'm not sure if I care about that. Well, I do care about that. For like efficient rendering. Yeah, so what I'm thinking about like is having some kind of abstraction here that just fixes this. But let's write it out for now. So that will be snapshots, doc changes, yeah, for each doc change. Yeah, this is a little bit, yeah, we have to switch on the doc change type, case, added, case, modified, case, removed, and then default will be, yeah, so break. Yeah, I guess we don't need default. Covers all the scenarios. So added would be state.todos push doc change doc.data as to do. So it's all this like casting and stuff. I don't really like that. So if it's modified, we would go in and we would basically apply those modifications. So we would do something like const to do equals state to do's find to do dot id equals, yeah, sorry. So this would be to do doc would be, or to do data would be doc change doc dot data as to do equals to do data dot id. And of course, if no to do, we'll probably just, yeah, push it if to do, else, because that shouldn't really happen, but it could happen. Yeah, and what we can do here is that we can go and grab the actual, just grab the data here. That's fine. So we don't have to do that multiple times. Yeah. To the data. So we can just assign the new state, and that's gonna optimally render it. And then if it's removed, we're gonna index state to do find index. Du ikke snakk sånn.
Hvorfor snakker du til noen av bestevennene dine?
Nei, ikke bestevennene mine. Splice, index 1. Cool. Okay, so we're going to refactor this into a generic abstraction, but for now we're just going to keep it as is. Yeah, but I have to jump, so...
Jeg kan trykke på knappen. Du kan si meg hvordan knappen jeg kan trykke på.
Ok, må si ha det da.
Ja, bæsj!
Og så trykker du der. Nei, Oskar. Du må behandle utstyret ordentlig. Sånn. En gang til.